Welcome in. You're tuning into another edition of 907 Sports, talking all things going on in the last frontier, from the courts to the gridirons. We're bringing it all right to you from this position right here in the Alaska's News Source studio. And it's been an exciting time for us here with all the stories we've had a chance to talk about over the last week, especially so for our volleyball talents here in the last frontier that want to play at the college level. 3 of them finding new homes this week. All of them sticking around here in the Anchorage area. Indy Komet from South, after an all-state career, moving on and choosing the Alaska Anchorage Seawolves. We didn't get a chance much to talk with her during the state volleyball tournament, unfortunately. South was knocked out a little faster than I think a lot of people expected. That was not the case for the Kenai Cardinals, and this girl right here, Sophie Tapley, also going on to choose the Seawolves this week. She'll be joining former teammate Emma Beck on the roster. Just some of the accomplishments for her: a three-time state champion, was named the top hitter at the 3A level in the tournament this year. As you just saw some of the skills she put on display. She actually had a chance to speak with Beck leading up to this and through all their time together on the Cardinals. This is something that they have been excited for, waiting for. Now it's a reality, and both of them are obviously very excited.
I'm so excited to play with her again. She was one of my biggest role models when I was a freshman, sophomore, and honestly, as a captain, she was my captain, and she's definitely someone that I look up to and look back to when I need advice for being a captain. So I'm very excited.
I can't even describe it, it's just interesting. I feel like we always joked about being a little duo. We're both left-handed, we're both right sides. She jumps a lot higher, but I'm a little taller. But it's so exciting. She's a great kid, and I know that she's such a hard worker too. So I have no worries about how she's gonna fit into the team and how, her energy is gonna come to us. And I'm just so excited, I can't even explain it.
Reunited once again. I know we're all very excited to see what they do next season together. Also joining them from Unalaska, Ula Liaoa, 39 wins, helping her lead her team in the Raiders to a 39 straight win streak, including this season 21 straight on top of that, on the road to back-to-back state titles for her. I mean, we were at this tournament earlier this year for 2A. We were hearing people in the stands, in the hospitality room, all over the place talk about how this team could probably compete with some squads at the 3A, 4A level even, just because of the talent she brought alone. And obviously at 6 foot, she was a glaring talent on this roster. It was clear what she could do, and obviously now a 2-time state champion, headed to UAA, where she is excited just as much.
I'm excited to play college, continue my career, and making my community proud. It's closer to home, and I get to see my family every day.
She's just a versatile player, and I'm excited to see her play with UAA next year and see where that takes her. I'm sure she'll go to outer space. But no, she's great. She's got really high volleyball IQ. She deserves it.
And that now makes 5 total Alaskans that will be taking part on the Seawolves roster next season. They join, obviously, Beck and Diamond's Alicia Sapone, former Gatorade Player of the Year as well. So a fun time to be an Alaskan, a great time to be able to watch some of the great players here from the last frontier sticking around in the state. Moving on now to another interesting story we covered this week, this time someone that went out of state and had all the types of success that you hope to see from an Alaskan, right? Cole Magner, former Bowling Green wide receiver, former Colony Knight, got to go back a ways, right? Go back to the early 2000s. Think about what you were doing. Well, while you were maybe, like me, growing up, maybe you were at your job doing things like that. This guy was playing for one of the all-time best coaches in college football, Urban Meyer. We talked with him this week as his former ball coach got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Urban Meyer will celebrate the 3rd national championship for the University of Florida.
To many, Urban Meyer is known simply for his accomplishments, whether it's his 3 national championships or coaching a Heisman winner. But to one Alaskan, he's a friend.
It's great. My kids know him. We're really close with him.
For Cole Magner, his bond with the renowned sideline manager goes back decades. Its first chapter opening in Bowling Green, Ohio, Meyer's first head coaching job.
I was his first recruiting class, and they were looking for a bunch of playmakers and athletes that could run around and implement his offense.
In the year 2000, he looked like the perfect fit.
That summer, I went to a University of Colorado football camp, and I ended up doing really well there. The guy that was recruiting me at Colorado, Greg Brandon, left Colorado and went to Bowling Green to be the offensive coordinator under Urban. He was like, "Hey, I got this kid from Alaska that's pretty good." And, of course, everyone's like, "What are you talking about, a kid from Alaska?" interesting enough, they end up having a vote to give me the last scholarship, and then Urban was the deciding vote to give me a scholarship and give me a shot.
That vote of confidence sent Magner to Northwest Ohio in 2001, where he said his first impression of the upstart coach was a lot to take in.
Urban is beyond intense, and a lot of people can't take it. So there's 24 people in my freshman class, and I think only 9 of us ended up making it all 4 years.
But across their 2 seasons together, Magner also got to know a gentler side.
You know, we're playing in a bowl game December 26th, and I'm sitting there in my dorm room on Christmas by myself, and he understood the situation I was in, being 4,000 miles away from home and not having anything. So he was like a father figure for me, for sure.
Unbeaten, unblemished, not since 1930 the Utah Utes been able to do that.
Now a junior in 2003, Magner watched his mentor leave for Utah, nearly finding himself on the packing list.
Back then you weren't really allowed to take players with you, but he had a meeting and didn't imply that, he wanted me to go to Utah. Anyways, I was really close to going to Utah. The O coordinator ended up getting the head coaching job, so I stayed.
Throws, it's a touchdown! Cole Magner!
That decision paid off. The former Alaska Gatorade Player of the Year went on to finish his Bowling Green career as the program's leader in receptions. And when he wasn't catching touchdowns, he was watching Meyer dial him up.
We'd watch the games and stuff with Alex Smith, and they're 12-0 and stuff. We would watch the games, and we would know exactly what plays are running.
As Meyer guided the Utes to a Fiesta Bowl win, Magner took his shot at the pros. And after stints with the Atlanta Falcons and the Arena League, once again, Meyer came a-calling.
For the second time in 100 years of football at the University of Florida, the Gators celebrate as national champions.
This time from the Sunshine State.
He's like, what are you going to do when you're done with football? And I was like, I'm coming with you. I'm going to go coach with you. That was always my plan. I was always going to, after I got done playing, I was going to follow in my father's footsteps and coach. But it's not very conducive to family life. So I chose my wife at the time over football. So I gave up coaching.
While his career on the sideline faded, the connection with his old ball coach didn't.
And now that he's done coaching, he lives in Florida. We have a timeshare in Florida that's like 15 minutes away from where he lives, so I get to see him every year.
Representing Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, and the Ohio State University, Coach Urban Meyer.
Now, 24 years since first crossing paths, the former Knight was right by his side again, watching his close confidant enter the College Football Hall of Fame.
I hope they take away, his passion and dedication and, the impact that he's had on young men's lives for the last 20 years. He's a celebrity in the limelight, but he is a regular guy too, and he has impacted a lot of people's lives very positively.
Especially in the last frontier.
I've been lucky enough to have him go from coach to boss to friend now. I'm one of the lucky ones that have cultivated a relationship with him after football.
Amazing stuff. I was actually tipped off to that story after watching College Game Day, and I believe in the message that all these former players were saying to Meyer. Cole comes in and his first words were, "Thank you for trusting," I believe, a quote, "skinny white kid from Alaska." So pretty crazy how you find these stories. If you've got a story that you think needs to be told, drop us a line at sports@ktuu.com. We'd love to get in touch with you. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Be sure to tune in tonight at 10 for all things sports right here in the great state of Alaska. Until then, I'll see you guys later.